terms of some more news brought to you by CertifiedElectrician.com. What arm of government is actually making money right now? Think of one in your head. If you haven't read the Post or the Times or the IndyStar.com, then you probably don't know the answer to this one. It's the state of Indiana. Indiana took in more money than it spent last year even as Republican Governor Mike Pence's tax cuts dropped total state revenue below the prior year for the first time since the Great Recession. So let's see. The state ended its budget year with a $107 million surplus. So when added to existing state funds, Indiana now has a total reserve balance of $2.005 billion. What do you do with that? I mean, how many billions do we want to have in the bank as a state? Due to the strong leadership of Governor Pence, our state's fiscal health is strong and growing stronger. Now, that's according to Republican State Auditor Suzanne Crouch. Crouch admitted the annual surplus only was achieved by Pence's requiring state agencies to revert, that is, not spend $151 million approved to them by the General Assembly. One of those is the Family and Social Services Administration, which has come under fire for denying promised state grants to the adoptive parents of disabled children. Now, they return the most, about almost $30 million. The Department of Child Services lost $4 million in funding due to this not spending plan. Maybe not. Maybe the governor is squeezing more service out of less money, and people are just getting more efficient. Well, let's see. State spending for local schools did increase by 4%, colleges and universities 5%, and the Department of Child Services 4%. All right, so it lost $4 million, but it still increased at DCS. All right, the state also paid down $65 million of debt ahead of schedule. By living within our means, keeping prudent reserves, and identifying areas for potential growth, we can ensure that Indiana remains the fiscal envy of our nation. Now, that's according to Dan Carden of the Times. What did a Democrat say? Indiana is failing to provide the prenatal care, preschool education, affordable college tuition, and infrastructure needed for the state's long-term success. It's becoming abundantly clear that the state's fiscal health has little to do with improving the well-being of the average Hoosiers. At a time when we should be investing in Indiana to improve the abysmal state of Hoosiers' incomes and health, we are hoarding hard-earned taxpayers' dollars instead of returning it to them with meaningful programs and services. See what Carl from Hessville has to say about that. Hey, Carl, what's going on, buddy?
I think Mr. Carden hit the nail on the head. So we got these billions of dollars sitting down in Indianapolis, but I'm losing my undercarriage every time I drive up and down Kennedy, Indianapolis, or Calumet Avenue. The roads are just horrible, and these are the state roads. These aren't the ones like Summer Street, where the city kind of needs to step up its A game. Great that we're saving money, but at what cost? Because I as a taxpayer, don't feel I'm getting my dollar's worth.
Is it just the roads that you're upset about?
That's the first thing that grabbed my mind when I read about the big budget surplus and old Mike over there patting himself on the back. And again, basics like transportation. They got $2 billion in surplus. Sounds to me like they could drop a small chunk of change and reopen Klein Avenue without batting an eyelash. They do that, write the check at a clear in one swat.
That's a done non-deal, I think. As far as I understand it, when they wanted to rebuild it, it was $150 million. It would have cost the state somewhere around $30 million on a 20% match with federal funding. I know when you have $2 billion sitting there and you're looking at $30 million that it would have cost the state. I still never get that, because I'm looking at a big truck going right now as we're speaking with steel coils. Possibly would have been going around on Klein Avenue if that was still there. But anyway.
Those three main arteries were not engineered to have heavy freight loads at this volume. They're failing more rapidly than they were designed.
I mean, the country likes people who are fiscally conservative.
If you pay a kid to mow your lawn, and you work a deal where instead of paying $20, you pay 10, but then the lawn looks like it hasn't been touched or maybe trimmed in a few spaces. Are you satisfied?
All right. Hey, Carl, thanks for calling in, my friend. Thanks for your perspective. We appreciate it. Hey, guys, 7 o'clock in the Calumet region, AM 1230, WJOB. This guy.